Let's just freaking wrestle!
This was my favorite WWE show of the Triple H era. So much progression and lots of great pro wrestling. Speaking of pro wrestling,
we're wrestlers!
Dude, at this point, I'm concerned about Vince McMahon's health.
What do you mean pro wrestling? It's sports entertainment. Bring back 6-man tag team matches. We need hands out of vagina. You gotta show your ass, Paul.
It's fair to say Vince McMahon is not really happy with today's WWE product. Like I've said, this was my favorite episode of Monday Night Raw or SmackDown since Triple H took over, and we didn't necessarily get a big moment during the show, you know, like Cross returning, but I feel like the show overall was really good. Wrestling was amazing, like so many great matches. It seems like wrestlers are enjoying themselves, and promo work was unbelievable. The show kicked off with the Judgment Day with Rhea Ripley front and center. The Judgment Day are starting to feel a little bit more special. Rhea Ripley says that they run Monday Night Raw. They talked about the Mysterios, and Finn Balor says he doesn't understand why so many people love the Mysterios. They will not be here tonight. Finn Balor says he destroyed Rey Mysterio to solidify his legendary status in the business. Damian Priest says he's going to destroy Edge next week, and he's not here tonight. He's promoting his match in Canada. Balor and Rhea Ripley won't be at ringside. Priest will take care of the job. Priest says Toronto will no longer be his hometown, but the place Priest retired him. And this time the retirement will be different. It will be Beth Phoenix wheeling him around and feeding him through a tube. So that was a great promo by the Judgment Day, and even though I didn't really like this rivalry ever since Triple H took over, it's kinda getting interesting because it's not one story happening at the same time. Yes, Edge got betrayed. He's, fighting the Judgment Day. The Mysterios have a problem with the Judgment Day as well. But on top of that, we have
familia drama.
We really don't know what's gonna happen in the future. Maybe Dominic Mysterio is going to join the Judgment Day. Maybe Edge will turn heel again. Maybe Rey Mysterio will be a heel in the WWE for the first time. So many questions, and that's what I like about Triple H's writing and the creative team. This rivalry is by no means perfect, but I like when a story has layers, if that makes any sense. Rey Mysterio drop kicks Damian Priest from behind. He clears the ring, and then we see Rhea Ripley asking Rey Mysterio to attack her. She knows very well Rey Mysterio is a gentleman.
I would never, ever in my life hurt a woman.
It's simply not
Booyaka.
But this whole thing was actually really entertaining. And Balor returns with a chair dropkick from Rey Mysterio. Then Rey Mysterio attacks Damian Priest with a steel chair. He was about to attack Finn Balor again, but Rhea Ripley saves the day.
I would never.
He put his focus on Damian Priest, but Rhea Ripley grabs the steel chair. Big boot by Damian Priest, and the Judgment Day obviously dominates. It's a 3-on-1 attack. To end this attack, we got coup de grace on the steel chair. What a moment. The Judgment Day are finally growing on me. In my honest opinion, it's the best the Judgment Day ever looked so far. Also, Rhea Ripley being involved fighting men is such a nice touch. I'm really starting to like this. Then we saw the first round in the Women's Tag Team Championship Tournament. Alexa Bliss and Asuka versus Doudrop and Nikki's Ass. So this was an okay match. The highlight for me was Alexa Bliss and Asuka working together. The finish of the match was actually pretty entertaining. As predicted, Asuka and Alexa Bliss are moving on. As Asuka, Bianca Belair, and Alexa Bliss were celebrating, we see Control behind them. So we see this big face-off, but we got a bunch of WWE officials trying to break it up. So already a very entertaining episode of Raw, and what we seen right here were not even the biggest highlights in my opinion. Theory got interviewed. He talked about his Money in the Bank cash-in attempt and says that he still has the briefcase, so it's all fine. He doesn't make mistakes, and he's even more dangerous now. We see Dolph Ziggler, and he says he's been where Theory is, and he earned his briefcase in 2013 to win the World Heavyweight title. Theory calls Dolph Ziggler a has-been and tells him to pay attention to him. He says once he cashes in his briefcase, he'll keep winning and won't screw up his career like Dolph Ziggler. And we got a very realistic looking brawl. That was also a really nice touch, and that cut to commercial was the best thing I've ever seen. They just flew into the camera and we got a commercial. That was actually pretty nice, and I did like the brawl. I think it looked really realistic. Ever since Triple H took over, we're just seeing so much aggression. Everyone is here to fight now. It seems like everyone is hungry. I'm even starting to like the pairing of The Miz and Champa. The Miz has a gift. Champa says, "It's awesome." No. We're awesome. I think that's supposed to mock Logan Paul. I'm starting to like these two because now, instead of Champa being a lackey, he's a strong ass dude who could beat The Miz, but I guess he doesn't feel like he's being used. He actually likes The Miz and he knows he has a lot to gain from The Miz because The Miz is a superstar. So a brand new tag team of Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali. A lot of potential right here and I don't mind this tag team at all. We need new tag teams and this is a perfect choice since none of these guys are doing anything right now. And we just saw a very entertaining match. Like I've said, most of these matches felt like pay-per-view level matches. Instead of just filling time like Vince McMahon used to do, just putting on random ass matches that nobody cares about and it seemed like people were really unmotivated. Now we're just watching a lot of great wrestling. And boy, that finish. So Mustafa Ali was going for the 450, but Ciampa catches him with a knee. Holy shit. So The Miz and Ciampa won the match, but this team does have a lot of potential. We see Drew McIntyre from SmackDown, which is hopefully something that we won't see again after the draft. And that was the best Drew McIntyre promo of all time. He knows it's a shock to see him on Raw. Not really. And he was here to address his match with Roman Reigns at Clash at the Castle. And he says it's taking place on his island. He will drop his ass, take his titles, and show up everywhere. It's a pleasure to be a WWE superstar. TV shows, live events, pay-per-views, he's going to be everywhere. He talked about potential undisputed championship dream matches, and he said from Raw we have Ciampa or AJ Styles versus Drew McIntyre. Then he moved on to SmackDown and Kevin Owens interrupts. He's not happy. Drew McIntyre says, and oh yes, Kevin Owens. Very convenient, right? Kevin Owens says he doesn't understand why McIntyre feels the need to be something he isn't and makes fun of Drew McIntyre for carrying a sword. Owens says that people like Drew McIntyre forgot what I'm all about. In this very arena, he faced Sami Zayn in the match of a lifetime at Battleground 6 years ago, a match that everyone still keeps talking about. So maybe it's time to bring back the prize fighter. Enough is enough and every single champion is a target. He doesn't care who the undisputed champion is after the pay-per-view. Kevin Owens is coming. So that was already an amazing promo by Kevin Owens, right? But then Drew McIntyre just, I guess, leveled up. McIntyre says that he's sick of people making things up to get a cheap reaction. Drew McIntyre starts screaming and he says he knows who the hell he is and says he had to work his ass off to get to the top of the company. He got fired and then it was the WWE who called him. He's beaten everyone who stood in his path. Sports entertainers, superstars, whatever, we're wrestlers. So it's time for us to stop talking and wrestle. Owens says he's on. I've noticed a lot of times Triple H is intentionally sending a message to Vince McMahon and also letting know the fans that yes, wrestling, pro wrestler, these words are not banned anymore. I really miss this kind of passion on the microphone. I'm not saying it never happened before, it obviously did, but now I do expect some great promos almost weekly. I mean, at least during this show, I didn't hear a single bad promo. So we saw Drew McIntyre versus Kevin Owens, another great wrestling match. This is awesome chance. Almost every match, I guess, got this is awesome chance. And it's not because the crowd was easy to please. I just honestly thought wrestling was really good, and this match was no exception. Unfortunately, we saw the Usos. They attacked Drew McIntyre, but Drew McIntyre clears the ring. Kevin Owens takes advantage, stunner, leaves. The Usos wanted to attack Drew McIntyre again, but this time Drew McIntyre stands tall. More and more I'm starting to believe that Drew McIntyre actually has a chance of beating Roman Reigns. How do you guys feel about that? We see Seth Rollins and he brags about injuring Riddle and he says, you know, we all know he's about to retire, so let's hear from Riddle. Well, Riddle announces that he's actually cleared. Oh, and I'm in the building. Seth Rollins thought that Riddle is in his mom's basement. So Riddle attacks Seth Rollins. This time Riddle dodged the curb stomp. Seth Rollins runs away through the crowd and Riddle stands tall. Riddle also announced that we are going to get a match at Clash at the Castle. Riddle. I think we never seen Riddle this serious. We got a great video package of not necessarily the United States Championship, but of the competitors, you know, AJ Styles and Bobby Lashley, talking about their very different paths and strengths that still led them to same results. Shane McMahon as a child didn't get as much love as the mid-card championships are getting in the WWE right now. You love to see it. Veer Mahan finally came back. Virgins, rise. He faced a jobber, but it was kinda bizarre. He was doing just fine against Veer Mahan, obviously up until Veer got his hands on him. Veer was on no fab journey again. So Veer Mahan makes his return and wins against some kind of a jobber. That's not important, you know, I don't really care about these kind of matches. This was a proof that Veer Mahan is not getting buried. Vince McMahon was about to put Veer Mahan in a romantic angle as a comedy character, and Triple H said, no. It was time for the United States Championship match between Bobby Lashley and AJ Styles. Maybe I sound way too positive, but another banger. Wrestling was really good. This is awesome, chants. Most of the time on Monday Night Raw, the matches felt boring. They were filler matches, they were rematches. Talent felt unmotivated. Now I'm watching pay-per-view level matches. Sure, we get some weird ass finishes from time to time, because yes, this is not a pay-per-view, but this was another banger. We saw Dexter Lumis again, and obviously we got security. I love how WWE are booking this whole Dexter Lumis thing. He's not supposed to be there, and even on commentary they mentioned, don't even talk about this guy. So we saw a great reversal, spear, and Bobby Lashley is still the United States champion. What a match. The mid-card championships didn't look this good in years. What I also love is that we have multiple people who actually want the United States championship. So many people are focusing on the mid-card championship. That's also really nice to see and makes the championship look very important. We saw Kai versus Dana Brooke. That was the worst part of the show. Really unnecessary. Dakota Kai obviously wins the match. This was a waste of time. Okay, I've said it 1,000 times. Wrestling was really entertaining this week. But oh boy, my favorite match was Theory versus Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler once again proved how great of a wrestler he is, how much more he truly deserves in the WWE. And when it comes to Theory, this was the best Theory match of his WWE career, in my honest opinion. I know many people felt like this was not supposed to be in the main event of Monday Night Raw. It feels kinda random, and I understand where you're coming from, but I believe Triple H knows how great of a wrestler Dolph Ziggler is, and putting Theory against Ziggler in the main event of Raw would be really beneficial to Theory. Theory felt like a star, Dolph Ziggler felt like a main eventer again. So many nice reversals, super kick attempts, but Theory still stands on top, which is the right decision, I guess. I'm a Ziggler mark. Obviously, I would go with Dolph Ziggler, but I understand what's going on right here. And Theory closes Monday Night Raw. I don't know about you guys, I feel like Dolph Ziggler deserves to be in the main event, especially with this quality of matches. Come on. Let me know in the comments below, how do you feel about it? I thought this main event was really good, and this was probably my favorite match of the night, but I'm not really sure. We got like 5 or 4 great matches. So thank you for watching this video. Raw was amazing. Loved it. The Great One. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.